For our first myth today, I feel it necessary to clear up all the different claims about where the practice of lighting a match or a lighter at a concert actually began. Over the decades, a number of different origin stories have emerged about this common concert practice, with some people saying it started with a tour between Bob Dylan and the band in the 1970s, while others say it was actually a Neil Diamond tour about the same time. There are also some people who claim that it was done as some sort of early tribute to the Doors song Light My Fire, as well as some people who say that it was a Leonard Cohen move that started this trend. However, to be honest, this practice actually has a very specific point of origin, and it was captured on film. The first time this is ever known to have happened on a large scale was during the 1969 Woodstock Music and Arts Fair, but it was not during the singer Melanie or Arlo Guthrie's set. It actually occurred between performers when one of the organizers, John Morris, talked about how it was the largest crowd ever gathered, and then it was really dark out, so in an effort to see one another, he encouraged everybody to take out a single match and light up the night. The crowd obliged him, and as they did this, the minimal stage lights were actually turned off, creating one of the most famous photographs in music history. To be honest, this moment did inspire Melanie to write her song Lay Down Candles in the Rain, but it was not initially done during her set, and obviously in recent times this has morphed to people putting cell phones in the air, but that is where it all began. For our second myth today, we're going to turn to the claim that the hip-hop duo Outkast were actually sued by Rosa Parks for using her name in one of their hit songs. Believe it or not, this is completely true, and they pretty much lost the case in every way possible. We all know the song as it was a massive hit for the duo and one of the keys to them becoming the international superstars that they remain to this day. But Rosa Parks did sue them shortly after the song hit big, as they never secured the rights to use her name. And she disagreed pretty strongly with much of the lyrical content of the song, claiming that it did damage to her well-known name. Throughout the beginning of the 2000s, the lawsuit made its way through a number of different courts until it was finally settled out of court in 2005 for a substantial amount of money, as well as Outkast doing some work with her developmental institute, though the pair never actually were convicted of any crime. This one does sound a bit odd, but it's still completely true. The last myth today that I want to dig into is a big one, and it's the one that says at one point in his career, David Crosby wrote a hit song in only 20 minutes when a cab driver dared him that he couldn't do it in the time it took to get from his hotel to the airport. Now, David Crosby has certainly written some of the most complex songs in all of music history, so it seems almost impossible he'd be able to summon that level of talent at will, and while this story is very widely circulated, that, among many other reasons, is why this is completely false. The story in question claimed to have occurred sometime around 1977 when the group released their second record, and while it was written quickly, it wasn't in a limo and it wasn't by David Crosby. The song this is referring to is called Just a Song Before You Go, and it was one of the group's biggest hits. But while the romantic idea of David Crosby writing this in a limo on the way to the airport certainly sounds good, check the liner notes. Graham Nash wrote that one. And as the story goes, the song was actually written pretty quickly alongside Leslie Morris while the duo waited for a storm to clear in Hawaii. Yes, you can find tons of random quotations about the group attributed to them over the years all over the internet, but this matter was laid firmly to rest in the group's own autobiography. So yes, it was a song written in haste, but no, not David Crosby and not on the way to the airport. So those are myths for today. Be sure to check back here every single Thursday as I delve into some of the coolest stories in music history, and be here every day for all the music news, reviews, and knowledge you'll ever need.